Hey guys, thank you first of all so much for adjusting to this time change and for being here an hour earlier. A lot of you said that it was helpful to you, so I hope it is. I do apologize for those who can't come at this time. Since we only have 3 more episodes, this will only affect the next 3 weeks, so I might be able to get it back at the regular time for next season if you guys want. If not, we can keep it at this time. You guys can just let me know. That is if I can find the energy to watch the next season, just because I don't even know where to start with this week's episode. I just felt like it was another really disappointing part of season 6B. And I talked to a lot of you guys earlier today in the chats here and also on Twitter last night. And I know a lot of you agree with me, but some of you disagree with me. And that is completely fine because I know we all have different opinions. But I was just really, really disappointed. I think that's the best word, because I don't feel like very much happened again in this episode, and I kind of feel like it was the same thing, throwing out the same people as red herrings, and some of it was a little bit ridiculous to me. So I'm just kind of interested to see what you guys thought and which specific parts you had issues with or that you liked from last night's episode. And hello to so many of you here in the room: Tony, Rock Music, Marge, Massimo, let's see, Stephanie, Vanessa, Mark, Reagan, Caitlin, Ariana, Bosco. There's so many of you here, and I really appreciate that, guys. Esther's here. But yeah, I mean, I was rewatching this episode trying to figure out, what kind of points I want to talk about in my video that goes live tomorrow, and I'm just like, okay, I hate it because, guys, I really do want to love the show, and I'm trying to keep watching it because I do want to know what happens and how they, wrap all this up. And at this point, I don't know if I care so much about who are these evil people, but I want to see what happens to the girls. You guys know that. So I don't know. As Mark is saying, the car chase scene was hilarious. Love how it sounded like a toy car, and the murder weapon conveniently jumped out of Emily's hand. She didn't even look at who was getting out of the car. And right, as Massimo says, now Emily's fingerprints are on the murder weapon. Hey, Forever Young, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, to me, it was all just a little bit ridiculous, or a lot ridiculous. More of you are chiming in saying that you thought this episode was really bad. The car attack scene was really silly. It honestly reminded me of other car chase, car attack scenes they've had in this show before. So I don't know if at this point the writers are just kind of like, whatever, we just need to throw these episodes out there. People are still going to watch and they just don't really care. I just find it hard to believe that they actually really care and are really trying and putting a lot of thought into these episodes, because it just doesn't show at all. I agree with this person who says when the A in the beginning pulled off their mask, it was very sad. I thought the mask was ridiculous. I was kind of excited for a second because I thought we would see more of this person roaming around town in a mask with various uniforms, because that makes me laugh really hard. And I enjoy the comedy of the show more than anything, and it's unintentional comedy, just because what else can I look forward to? Lexi says she loves that Ren was mentioned, and I thought it was interesting that they mentioned Ren, but probably more interesting that they mentioned Bethany, because they haven't talked about her in forever. However, I kind of feel like they won't talk about her again, or they won't talk about her for weeks and weeks, or maybe till next season, or they may never revisit that again. It really bothered me with all of the Melissa stuff, how they were making her pretty much the highlight of this episode, trying to make her look really crazy, really shady, which we've already done a million times before, and trying to basically say that she's for sure this evil A person, since Emily and I guess we think that there are 2 A's now. So I just think that was all ridiculous because we've done this before. Massimo says the ending with one of the A's was boring. The only thing that I got from that ending, it looked like that person was most likely at Ella's wedding, and if not, they were Dr. Rollins, who may have gotten a piece of cake because he was getting ready to be married. I definitely think that they were trying very hard in an indirect way to make Dr. Rollins look evil, and a lot of you thought Dr. Rollins would be someone who could possibly be A, and at this point, I think that you're right, although that's absolutely ridiculous, and I think will make people even more mad than having Charlotte be A at this point. Why her name's important says, sorry, but Marlene blatantly lies on Twitter. Now she's saying that the twin is not one of the liars. I haven't seen that yet. As you guys know, I unfollowed her last year and I never look at her Twitter. But sometimes you guys send me screenshots, and a lot of you inform me about how she was telling people that there is a definite twin now, which we've kind of heard before. But I can't really believe her because you know how she is. Dan's mom says that this was a snooze fest, 2 in a row, losing interest. I completely agree. I told you guys how much trouble I had watching last week's episode. I had the same amount of trouble this week. I've watched it twice now. I'll say watch in quotations. I do pay attention enough to get the key points, but it's not very hard because really nothing's going on. I felt like we were just continuing with the same stuff that happened in last week's episode with a few more things that they've, taken from episodes we've already seen and just dragging out old stuff. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for tweeting with me last night. I will continue to tweet live during the episode. So we have 3 left, and I'm kind of thankful for that because, wow, I don't know what else we need to learn from this show. I can see you, Sinead. That's awesome. If you put your phone or iPad or tablet or whatever on desktop mode, I should be able to see you guys commenting now, or I can see you if you're on the YouTube app, is what people have told me. So please comment if you are here. I would love to hear from you. Ben has a good question here. Why did Emily even go to that diner place? I must have missed that too, and I watched it twice, and I say watched it because I try to pay attention, but it really puts me to sleep. I'm not really sure why she went to the diner. Did anyone catch that? Marge thinks that Dr. R is Uber A. So do I. If you would notice, he kind of crept up behind Allie. He wants to get married to her. I don't think he's known her for very long. He seems in a huge hurry to get married. I honestly thought that when he showed up at Arya's house, he was being really rude and like insisting that Arya marry them right away. I thought he was acting pretty crazy. And they also played like that scary music when he was asking right before he came to talk to Allie about getting married. So I think those are all, in their mind, little clues to tell us that this guy's evil. I'm sure there's some crazy backstory. Oh, very good. Laura says that was Two Crows Diner, which was a clue from last week's episode, which has something to do with Charlotte's murder, is all we know. And that's, of course, where Emily found the broken luggage, which belongs to, what's her name, Melissa. So someone obviously planted it there because I don't think Melissa is the big bad or whatever. Ben says this whole Dr. Rollins thing is ridiculous. I completely agree. I think it's laughable and crazy. At this point, if they just want to go ahead and make Dr. Rollins Uber A, they should, because I'm just going to sit back and laugh at the people who tweet Marlene and the tweets that come in and the Facebook page comments, because that will be pure entertainment for me. And I think she deserves all of it if they do make Dr. Rollins Uber A. Why was Byron and his wife getting married necessary? What was the point? Pretty much it was wasted time. I don't see the need for us to, this episode was very highly devoted to them and their wedding. Yeah, okay, it was kind of cute, but do we need to see it? Did it advance the story? I don't think so at all. But to me, it kind of wasted some time. I mean, to me, I wouldn't have minded if they'd said, yeah, I'm cool with them getting remarried. And they said, we're getting remarried. And then they got remarried somewhere and it wasn't shown, because I don't see the point in showing it. But I do see their point in showing it, because I honestly think they're just trying to drag the show on as long as they can. Tony doesn't think that Liam is Arya's type. Honestly, I didn't understand or didn't realize that Liam did not know about Ezra. Did anybody else also feel the same? So I do feel like it's bad on her part that she never bothered to say that she used to date this guy. I really thought that he knew that. Now, I feel like he has every right to be upset with her about this, but then he seemed to have forgiven her near the end. I was getting strong clues that Caleb and Hannah will get back together, because she kind of made a statement to Ella that like sometimes people just need time apart and they'll go back to their first loves, which didn't even apply to Ella because her husband was not her first love. I think it more applied to Hannah. I did like that part of the show. I do think they'll get back together, and that makes me happy. So all the drama surrounding Caleb leaking out this information about Yvonne, who had an abortion in high school, and also medical records of Spencer's mom. He said that he did it. Then he told Spencer he didn't really do it, but he did it to help her mom. Of course, her mom was furious and kicked him out. Do you guys think that he's telling the truth, or do you think he is the source of this leak? I also agree with Gabriella, who thinks that Ezra still loves Arya, and I agree with you completely, and I think that they could possibly get back together as well. Um, why are names important says Caleb is the only thing keeping me going, and Allison. I really do feel like Caleb will reunite, especially now that Caleb is on very, very bad terms with Spencer's mom and she kicked him out and everything. Yeah, Arya is going a bit deeper in with her relationship with Liam, and they reconciled at the end of the episode. Esther says Hannah finally made up her mind for the wedding. She did, and she set a date, kind of on voicemail, but I don't think that it's going to happen. I still think she's not going to get married. Maybe he will back out, or maybe she'll back out at the last second. I don't see her marrying Jordan. That's just what I think. Reese thinks that Ella and Byron are suspicious, also Allie and the doctor. You know, I would be completely fine, and I think I've told you guys this before, I would be totally fine with one of the parents we've known forever being involved, being big bad, one of the girls, one of the boyfriends, not fiancés because we don't know them, one of the boyfriends. I'm fine. I will adjust to that. If they want to make Ren, whatever. If they even want to make Melissa, I can deal. I have a bad feeling that it is going to be like Dr. Rollins or someone like that, or someone's twin, which I don't love the fact that someone's going to have an evil twin, because there again, we have someone who we do not know, unless they're going to say this person sometimes pretended to be their twin, you know? So let's say Emily has an evil twin, which I don't believe, and sometimes this person would pretend to be Emily, so we actually saw the twin. I still don't believe that's going to happen. I just think it's lame. So yeah, thoughts on Emily's eggs being used by Uber A. Uber A is implying that they're going to have a baby with Emily's eggs. I don't know if they're trying to say they're a guy, they're just making crazy threats, or what. I don't see that storyline progressing. I think it would be very, very strange if someone shows up and is like, so-and-so's pregnant with your eggs, and then they have a baby in the show. I just feel like that's really far out there. And not that they haven't gone crazy and far out there before on this show. I just kind of feel like that's just way too much. Tony says that Liam could be A, which would be absolutely ridiculous on their part, not you for guessing that. I agree with Scrambia, what is going on. I am expecting a crap reveal. I'm expecting the Uber A and the whoever the other A is to be very lame people. Sheena says, why would Charlotte feel betrayed? I understand what they're saying, but I guess I don't see feeling angry because my sister loved my doctor, but I guess I'm not insane. I didn't agree. I didn't understand that at all either. I think that's a good point that you're bringing up, Sheena. Apparently, Charlotte is upset that Allie and Dr. Rollins have something going on. The only thing that would make me understand that is if they had something going on, which could have been the case. Maybe they were hooking up, or she was in love with him and never told him, or she was in love with him, told him, he rejected her. I don't know. Who knows? If he killed her, maybe it's because she was in love with him and he didn't like her and he wanted to get rid of her. I really don't know. I agree that Emily's storyline is boring, but what's more boring, Amy and everyone else to me, is what is more boring is the nonsense, the election stuff with Spencer's mom. I'm sorry, I just don't care. I am very sad that her mom has cancer and it's back and everything. That makes me so sad. So I do care about that, but I just don't care about the election. And I'm sorry, I just don't care about this Yvonne person. She's a new character, and it's terrible that someone leaked out this information, but how can we care? I mean, this constant stream of new people is exhausting. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Just Noodles. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to say hi to the new people in the room. As Tony says, the campaign stuff is super boring. Massimo bets it's Dr. Rollins. The text message referred to him as the good doctor. Yes, why not call him Dr. Rollins or just doctor? That's because if he's A himself, he's the bad doctor when not in front of Allie. I definitely am getting these vibes. And I think something to point out here, I think because we've watched this show for a while now and we kind of know how it works. When someone is definitely not the villain, they will make them look really, really, really suspicious, really guilty. They'll go out of their way like they're doing with Melissa, like they did with Toby, like they did with Ezra. But when someone is actually the villain, they will do these little hints, but they throw them out there, and they're throwing out the little Dr. Rollins hints. To me, Dr. Rollins being Uber A or whatever is probably 100 times worse than Cece being one of the A's, because at least we had known her. We had her around for a few seasons. To me, all of that was ridiculous, especially the whole thing that the gender swap and all of that was crazy and just didn't seem needed. at all, as you guys know. But um, Dr. Rollins being the main villain, the final villain of this series, makes me want to throw my TV. And I wanted to throw my TV during all the CC stuff, but it's worse. I really think it's worse. I really think people will absolutely go crazy on social media if that happens. That could be just me. But a very good point. Tony is saying that Dr. Rollins could possibly be Ren's twin. That is, I think that's right on. I think that's a huge possibility. I still can't get behind that. I don't like that at all. Okay. I think that's ridiculous. They do look similar. I think Tony has the comment of the night. Thumbs up. That was really good. Yeah, but doesn't mean I like it. I think that's crazy. Why are names important? Doubts that Dr. Rollins will be Uber 8 anymore. They've made it too obvious. But I don't think they have. I don't think that they've made it obvious at all. But I think a lot of you guys thought that he might be, and I think we're kind of on the lookout for it. And I think that they think they're making the clues really subtle, and they are for them. Any other show, no, but for them. So who were all the people who attended the wedding? Someone who attended is Uber A. Yeah, exactly. That's why we saw the piece of cake in the last scene with A. There were a lot of people there, so we need to go back and see. But again, I think that Dr. Rollins could be this person because he showed up to get married. And, you know, you just have to assume there was still cake there. And Allie and him had a piece of cake, or they took a piece of cake home after they got married or whatever. Or after they were, I don't know if they got married or we're going to see them get married in the next episode. But perhaps even if they didn't get married, she was like, you know, just for example, you guys want to take some cake? I'll marry you tomorrow or something. Do you want to take some cake? I don't know. Laura says, Marlene says it's an identical twin. Not sure we can believe her though. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Ren and Dr. R look enough alike to pass as identical in TV land. In real life, no. But if that's the case, if it's someone identical, then it's obviously someone's going to play themselves, and we've never known this person. And to me, that's ridiculous. If that person ends up being Uber A, I guess I don't really care if someone has a twin and they're not like a villain or they're not the main villain, then it won't really bother me. But if we have Uber A as someone who we've never seen, someone's twin or whatever, it's a little ridiculous to me. A very good point here, Massimo, because we have this person wearing masks. He's saying maybe A was at the wedding wearing another disguise. Now, the only thing I would say, maybe they were working or how, like one of the service workers or something. If they were dressed as a person, like with I just feel like those masks would look really crazy in person if you were just like one of the guests, or if you were trying to appear like one of the liars or something like that. You would look so silly and people would recognize. But maybe they were like the people who brought in the cake or something, the people who brought in something else, so they could go undetected because they were kind of in and out. But if they sat through the whole thing, it would be really obvious that someone was wearing a Halloween mask and everyone would be looking at them. However, I will say that this show is not in reality and it doesn't make sense a lot, and it's in dream logic. So maybe we are expected to believe they sat there in a mask and no one freaking noticed. I don't know. Reese says, I agree. If it's someone we don't know, I will go mad and not watch any of the Marlene stuff again. Yeah, I've got 2 dogs here, by the way. Why our names are important. And they're not being super loud now. They were being loud earlier to the point I couldn't, probably if I was talking to you guys, you wouldn't hear me. So I'm sorry. I have 2 dogs. Yeah, I have a dachshund mix, and I think, I'm not really sure what the other one is because I got him from a shelter and they didn't really know. He's bigger than my little dachshund. But Lucas's Uber A would make me really happy. I would be cool with that. If you guys follow me on Instagram, though, and you like dogs, if you want to see my dogs, I have pictures of both of them on my Instagram. It's Kelly_TV. And also follow me on Twitter, too, because that's where you would learn, which I think a lot of you did, that we moved the time up for this show for the next few weeks. So that's why it's important if you do have Twitter to follow me, because some people are probably going to come here at 6 o'clock and be like, where the heck is her show? Because they didn't know. And that's okay. Everyone's not on social media. Even if you are, you can't check it all the time, but it just helps to follow if you are on. So very funny, I thought, in the beginning of the show was that Sarah's hole had disappeared. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what happened. So Sheena says Sarah obviously knows they discovered the hole since it's covered now. It isn't believable at all because, I mean, just think about this. It was the access that she had through that hole took her like through like a tunnel and a maze, and like it was not just like a little tiny hole in the wall. So she would have to probably hire professional people to come in and patch that up. I feel like that makes no sense, but whatever. Raven is finally here in the chat. Thank you so much for being part of this. And I'm happy that this chat in an earlier time is working out so that some of you who have never been able to come are here for the first time. Rock Music's asking, why is Arya in jail in the promo? I don't know. It looked like someone's going to be set on fire in next week's episode, but that may be stretching things and that may be not happen because the person looked like they were totally, gonna die or be burned really bad because their whole body was engulfed in flames. I haven't looked at the synopsis. A couple of you have mentioned that the synopsis for the finale is out. When you say that, is it like with spoilers? Because I don't like to read those, but if it's not, then maybe you just mean like the synopsis for TV. I'll check that out. Reese is wondering if Marlene watches any of my videos. Possibly, because no, probably not. I had a dream that she did, but probably not. I think that it would be pretty crazy if she did. I would love it if she did, but I think she probably is too busy and important to watch these videos, but who knows? Yes, Arya might be called in for a police lineup is what Sheena says. Massimo says, episode 619 is called Did You Miss Me? I bet it's Sarah who says that. It would really suck, though. Well, I haven't missed her at all, and I love the fact that she was not in this episode because you guys know I can't stand Shower Harvey. So that was another good point in this episode, and I do try to find like positive things in every episode. Sometimes it's hard. I think it's been very hard the past couple of ones to find positive things, but sometimes it's small things like I liked someone's hair or I like someone's outfit. And this one, I like the fact that Hannah seems to still be in love with Caleb, and it hints to me that, they might get back together. Mark thinks that Leslie is A. Wow. So we haven't seen her forever. That would be absolutely ridiculous. But he is making a point here about that her glasses are the exact same that A uses. We saw those glasses be pointed out a lot last night. Yes, it would be completely terrible, but maybe that's their way of throwing out a little clue that these are her glasses. I don't know. To me, that's really bad. Now, it's just as bad to me as if Dr. Rollins ends up being A, even though, yes, we have seen Leslie before. She's not a brand new character, but I feel like that is ridiculous because, like Courtney says, she completely forgot Leslie even existed. I don't know why we have a lot of these lately. I've been getting some crazy people in here saying crazy things, and I think it started like last week with one of my How to Get Away with Murder chats. So I'll have to take time probably to block them because it seems like they create new names and come right back after they're blocked. Sadly, I'm sorry for the crazy comments that are in here. Anyway, yeah, I know a lot of you guys don't like Marlene, and I don't like the fact that I've seen the way she talks to people on Twitter last year and this year, and I don't like that. That really bothers me. I mean, okay, so if you write crappy scripts and if your show sucks, that's one thing, but you don't have to treat the fans that way. And I've just seen her be really rude to people with normal questions, not people like calling her names or saying terrible things to her, just people with freaking normal questions. At the same time, I would say to her, if someone's sending you very rude things on Twitter, she should be above those people. Block them if you don't want to see their tweets. Don't even respond if it's crazy rude stuff. But when someone has a legitimate question about the show, if she feels like she needs to be rude, she should be able to control herself enough to not respond. And if they really bother her, just block them or ignore them. She's a grown woman. I don't understand why she feels the need to be rude to fans, especially when, like I said, people she's responding to have very legitimate questions. It's not like she's responding to death threats or whatever, I do not condone anyone saying rude things or, crazy things to her on social media. That's not right. But I think we do have a right to ask questions about things that don't make sense and to call her out when we can prove with screenshots and stuff that she has lied about stuff. Yes, as Laura says, Marlene is completely unprofessional. And I'm lost by that because someone who has her kind of power and influence and is behind this big show, I don't know why she does that. So Marge says next week Toby punches Caleb in the face. I know a lot of you guys are excited for that. That makes me excited. I mean, not because I don't like Caleb, because I do, but I'm excited. So Mars is asking, why did Lorenzo, the person who played Lorenzo, get fired? I don't know if he got fired or not. Someone else, and maybe it was you, but someone wrote in my YouTube comments that he was fired. There was a big scandal that is kind of convoluted. You can look it up on Google, basically about something he put on his Instagram. So I don't know if we have the confirmation that he was fired or not. We haven't seen him in a while. We did see him some in 6B, but I don't know. But just Google that for what happened with his Instagram, because I know people, I've explained it a few times and it gets kind of hard to explain. But yeah, so so Ben's going to copy the finale synopsis and put it here. Thank you so much. So I also miss Toby and I'm excited to see that. And like I said, I don't want Caleb to get punched, but it makes me interested to see the reasoning behind that, and I want to see that. So Mark thinks that Marlene probably wrote Shower out of this episode so she never had to explain her motive for torturing the girls, because there's only 3 episodes left and we still don't know it. Someone else told me that the Shower Harvey actress, is not listed to be in any of the other episodes of this season, I think. So what's up with that? Although that's not surprising because we see so many people come and go with no explanation on this show. The finale we have 3 more episodes. So sometime in March, and I don't know the exact date, will be the finale. So if people are saying if we're upset with it, or Marge is saying if we're upset about the finale, we should flood her Twitter account with all her lies and rudeness. And probably she doesn't care, to be honest. Because, I mean, people were just really all over her, with the CC reveal, and she didn't really seem to care. She just was rude and angry. So Rock Music says the season 6 finale better be better than the season 6A. Well, I would hope. Oh, March 15th is the finale. Thank you so much, Dee, for telling us that. No, I don't think you're the only one who thinks this show is ridiculous, Steffi, because, I mean, I know I do, and a lot of people in the comments are. Yes, Kim, I'm so sorry I had to move this to 5. We're going to be doing this at 5 EST. For the rest of this season. So I had a scheduling conflict. I'm sorry about that. I've been tweeting it out, but I know everyone's not on Twitter. So if you missed it, I do apologize. That info was on Twitter. If you are on Twitter, try to follow me. But I'm sorry. But from now on, it will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next 3 episodes. And if, I'll take a poll later on for next season. Like if more people prefer it at 6, we can go back. I shouldn't have the same issue, but we'll see. Jennifer just wants drama because it's so boring. I agree. I want something crazy to happen. I think I said in my last live chat with you guys, I wanted someone to get killed, like a main character. Not because I dislike the main characters, just because I want something crazy to happen so that I can be like, yes, this was a good episode. Like, we need some action, Dance Mom says, rather have a short, good season versus a long and boring season. Hate that everything good with all the info we hope for gets shoved into the last episode. Well, at this point, I don't even know, like, if they're going to be able to pull off a good finale episode for season 6. I really don't know. I'm very, very concerned. So I guess YouTube sent out some notifications to you guys that this had changed to 5, hopefully. So that's good. I'm glad some of you guys caught it here. Ben says, apparently the liars will find out who killed Charlotte before the finale. Well, that's good, I think. Court just wants mystery and clues, could care less about the ships. At this point, the mystery and clues are so bad that I'm just trying to care, to see who gets back together, because there really is like no mystery and the clues are lame. Kim says, don't know if I talked about it, but didn't you think the masked person at the beginning looked like Sarah Harvey? Well, I mean, I think they wanted us to look like her. And I guess that Emily was saying, she thinks one of the people bugging them is Sarah Harvey and the other is this evil person. Apparently we find out who killed Mrs. D in the season 6B finale instead of who killed Charlotte. Well, that's interesting. But anyway, so now I'm completely forgetting what I was talking about. I do want to know who killed Mrs. D. That's really good. Lois wants to know if anyone's thinking that Mike not arriving for the wedding is super weird. I did find that a little strange. And, Arya's dad says, like, he's still mad at him because he hurt their mom. But, guys, I think it's just because Mike, the actor, has been busy doing other things. But if it's because they're trying to make him like one of the evil people, I think that would just be ridiculous. I don't know. So Sheena thinks they're probably using the remote control to cause a fire in the fireplace in Hannah's hotel room where we saw that person like go up in flames. Yes, possibly. Noodles is talking about the slice of cake from the wedding. Absolutely. We talked about that earlier. Probably means the person was at the wedding, I guess. Should mean that. You guys miss Mike. I do too. I love Mike, as you know, or his character, Cody Christian. he's been gone for so long that I don't even know if he's going to return. I mean, at this point, I don't know. So Massimo thinks that Ezria will get back together. Toby will cheat on Yvonne with Spencer, and maybe Hannah and Caleb will have feelings for each other once again. I think Hannah and Caleb will get back together, and I do think Ezria have a good chance of getting back together. Absolutely. Paige moved to California, it seems like a very long time ago, Massimo, and then we haven't really, they've talked about her some, but she probably isn't coming back, but I don't know. Nadia is asking, what do I think about Caleb taking the blame? Well, I mean, I asked earlier, and probably some of you responded, and it just flew by me with all the comments, but do you guys think he was the person who leaked this information? Because he claimed that he did, and then later he told Spencer that he didn't, but I really don't know. I don't know what to believe, I guess. Did you like the ending, Jennifer? The remote looked evil. The ending was dramatic. The only part I liked about the ending, to be honest, was the fact that we saw the cake, and so we know the person was at the wedding. And I could see that being a good thing and a bad thing, because they could make them like the lamest person ever. Like I said, it could have been the person who delivered the cake wearing that stupid mask, and that's why they were at the wedding and got a piece of the cake. I don't know. So why names are important, hopes that Emily has a twin and the twin has an actual personality unlike her. Ha ha, that's funny. The car scene was very cheesy, Steph. I agree. Jennifer was kidding. I'm glad. I didn't want to like be rude and be like, okay, that was a really lame ending. But the remote control really scared me. I thought at any minute it might come through my TV, or that maybe my remote control would attack me because it was possessed by Marlene King. That's what I thought. I'm joking. So yes, Mark says he loved the ending with A in the remote control because maybe A will torture the liars by making them watch 6B on repeat. Absolutely. I think if any of us had to deal with this stuff, then they would be really, really upset. Not upset, but bored. Like if you had to watch this a billion times, like if you were, yeah, there's some trolls in the room again. Oh my gosh, the trolls. Okay, hold on. It's exhausting. Trolls are loving my live chats lately. No, I didn't talk about Emerson. I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if they're going to make that happen. But, I mean, Allie's going to marry Dr. Rollins pretty soon. And he probably is going to end up being completely crazy, so that marriage is just not going to happen, or he'll be dead or something. Like, they'll be married, but it won't work out because he's going to be crazy in jail or dead or something. But I don't know if Emerson's ever going to happen again. I'm not, that's fine. I blocked the Chris Hansen guy. Don't worry. Chris Hansen was thirsty, but there was someone else before him being crazy. So it's probably honestly the same person just creating new accounts to, I don't know why, to get in here. It's probably Marlene is my best guess is that Marlene is in here trying to pretend that she's a guy and she's angry. So she's saying rude things to like distract me. That's what I think. I'm sorry. Let me see Reagan's comment. I didn't mean to miss you. Ren said back in season 3 that he never contacted Cece. We saw him make shady phone calls. We know Charlotte and him responded in contact or kept in contact, and he sided with her. Ren's confirmed coming back in season 7 as well. He could be avenging her death if he fell in love with her at some point in Radley. I would be really happy if Ren was involved. I don't have a lot of hope that he is. I'm completely behind that. But I do not think that it will happen just because it would make sense and it would make people happy. And I just don't think it's going to happen. Massimo, thank you so much. I haven't even realized, I guess I'm almost at 3,100 subscribers. So thank you. I really appreciate all of you who are here who have subscribed. You know that. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. I also agree with Seb, who thought for a minute that Emily was flirting with Damien. I really thought that. And I'm just like thinking, okay, are they making this guy a love interest for her? Because I'm very confused. Which I don't understand his point. He seemed to have a pointless existence on this show. At this point, we are so far into this show and it's hopefully going to end soon. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. So I don't want to see more characters, especially if we go into season 7 and they keep throwing out new people and trying to make them look suspicious. I need that to stop. Damien to me is just useless, a useless character. Another boring part of this show. Did I watch See No Evil on ID? I love the ID channel. Raven's asking it. I was actually in a very small role in an ID channel show this summer. And it was on like this past summer I filmed it, but it was on in October. You could see me in it, but it was not, I talked, but just a little bit. We're totally getting off topic here, but I love the ID channel. I used to watch it like all the time, but I haven't seen that new show. I'll try to check it out. But the only thing about the ID channel, that a lot of this stuff is true stories, and I used to watch it like obsessively, and I started really having nightmares because sadly this stuff actually happened, whereas with Pretty Little Liars, none of this stuff really happened to anyone. So sometimes I like watching fictional shows than watching the terrible stuff that actually happened to people. Ben started watching The Fall on Netflix, which I think I talked about in my How to Get Away with Murder chat. So if you guys weren't there, just a side note, The Fall is really good. It's the guy from 50 Shades of Grey, can never think of his name, and the girl or the woman from The X-Files. It's a British show. It's really good, very dark, and I'm glad that you liked it, Ben. Just a shout out. I probably am not going to do videos or anything on it just because it's one of those things where all the episodes comes out at once. I've never watched The 100. It's insane that two of you asked that at the exact same time. Very funny. No, I've never watched that. Stream TV, or I don't know what those are. Would I be joining Stream TV or PLLAS? What is that, Steffi? Jamie Dornan. Yes, I really like Jamie Dornan. So, and I liked 50 Shades of Grey, honestly. I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I like that. Why do I think the hole was fixed? Asked Nadia. Because Sarah has probably cameras in there or something, and she knew they were onto her, and there was something secretive. If you go through that hole, so I think she needed to seal that off or have someone seal it off, so the girls couldn't do that again. Oh, okay. No, I mean, yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll look into Stream TV. I don't know if like they have to accept me into their community or if I have to apply or whatever, but I'll check it out. I have really no idea what it is, so I'll look it up. That looks interesting, or sounds interesting anyway. So Reese says that Pretty Little Liars are so cheap, can't have many people even in one episode. Like, I heard that Sarah wouldn't be back for this season. Yeah, I am hearing that Sarah's character is not going to be back for this season. Okay, thank you guys for the recommendations. I will check that out. I don't know about either one of those shows or channels or whatever, but I will look into them. So Mark at this point says, doesn't want A to be someone good, wanted to be a terrible character like Rollins, just to watch everything explode on Twitter. I'm with you. I know that's terrible, but for me, I would just want to sit back. Like, I had a lot of fun because I was very angry, as you know. As some people make fun of me for being I was very angry with the CC reveal. And I, talked about it on Twitter and made 1,000 videos. But the only thing that made it feel better for me was reading other people's dissatisfaction on Twitter. I would literally sit and look at the Twitter feeds like all day regarding this show. So, whatever. If they're going to throw it away even more and make Rollins, Uber A, let's just go. If they're gonna make someone terrible Uber A, let's go crazy. Let's make Rollins Uber A and make it make no sense, so that I can just sit and laugh at people, not at people, but at Marlene and everyone. That's all I have to say. I agree with Nadia, and I said this earlier. Something is not right with Dr. Rollins. He was in such a hurry to marry Allie. He acted weird, and I think he acted really rude, flat out rude when he showed up at Arya's house. And she was like, it's late. The party's over. He was like, oh, no, it's not late. You can marry us right now. And he was being pushy. And Allie was like, well, they were sleeping. He was like, no, they're not sleeping. We need to do this right now. I mean, it was really rude. Okay, we did talk about Emily's eggs. I think it's really weird. I don't see the show actually going through with this. Like, I don't see someone actually having a baby and having Emily's baby. I feel like that's really crazy, even crazy for this show. I could be wrong. I would really roll my eyes at that if they have an Emily's baby and like show the child and everything. I think that would be ridiculous, but you just never know what they're thinking on this show. I think really it's just a threat, Hi, Zoe. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Miss Allie. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I think it was really weird that Dr. R was like wondering who the texts were from and was like spying on Allie's phone. I think he's really creepy. And I think that they're throwing those clues out there because they want to make him Uber A. I really think so. Paige is in California, I think, still. Also, don't Allie and Dr. Rollins need a marriage license? Yeah, they probably do, but this show is just not in reality. Ben would laugh so hard at Marlene trying to explain everything on Twitter. Yes, because she probably wouldn't even try to explain. She would just probably want to fight with people, as she always does. Dorian wants to know if there are two people after the girls do. I think it would make sense if they're working together, but according to Emily, they're not. Yeah, I do think that actually makes sense that there are two people. And I think her explanation actually makes sense as well, because somebody wants to know who killed Charlotte and someone wants to cover it up. I think that's true, because I mean, it could even be Shower Harvey who's bugging them, but just like low-key bugging them, because she wants to know, I guess, because she was friends with Charlotte, she wants to know who killed her. The other person, I think, is more sinister and actually wants to hurt them. And I think that's the person who came up to Emily, like the big bad or whatever. Yes, I do think they're two separate people. So the person who is tweeting and bugging them could possibly be Allie, in my opinion, because, I don't know, maybe not. But there's someone who wants to know what happened to Charlotte rather than trying to actually hurt people. But I think the person behind the whole eggs thing is the bad person, because that's just really evil. I think that's like the big bad. Where is Jason? I don't know. I really like Jason's character. I like that actor. And I don't know where he is. I don't know if they've even explained it, you know. The finale hashtag will be E4 before emoji. Is that what you mean? E4 emoji bin? I'm not sure what you mean there. So Nadia wants Ren to be A. Again, I would love it. I would love it so much. I mean, I would completely love that. I just don't know if they're going to go there, because I almost feel, honestly, like they try to pick the craziest people to be the villains. And sometimes I think they don't want to make it who we want it to be. And I know that so many of us would love to see Ren be an uber villain. And I just think that they won't do it because we want it so bad. I don't know. That is so strange to me. I don't understand. Why do people want Ren to be A? He was more irrelevant than Cece, asked Mars. Well, I think he was more relevant than Cece, just my opinion. But I think at this point, we just want someone we know. It is lame in a way just because he's never on the show. But he's so much better of a choice than Dr. Rollins or Liam or whoever. Noel Kahn's been gone forever. Also love Noel Kahn. Seems like she has a thing against all the hot guys. I mean, of course, not all of them, but she's really getting rid of the hot guys. Actually, the hot guys are probably getting other jobs that make more sense on shows that actually make sense and that don't make people angry. Maybe that's what's going on. Purple Sunstar doesn't know why A thinks the girls know anything. They should put their stalker skills to good use and find out who did it themselves. Seb would be okay with Petunia being A. Maybe Tippy the Bird is A. I would not be cool with that at all. You're probably joking, I know. But, oh my gosh, I just feel like the worst they could do is make, like, the parrot A, but they probably won't. Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, but the fact that Arya never told Liam about Ezra is really bad on her part, and I thought that Liam had every right to be upset, because what the heck was she thinking, you know? I thought that Ren did make sense as A, really, as someone's saying here, that Julian is too good of an actor and too hot. He was the perfect villain. I mean, I still think he made so much. To me, if we could go back to the season 6A finale, it made way more sense for Ren to be A. I don't think, and maybe a couple of you would have been upset. I wouldn't have been. I would not have made ranting videos. I wouldn't have been complaining. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. The only thing that would have been kind of a bummer is that a lot of people thought it was going to be Ren, so it would have been kind of like a letdown that it wasn't someone surprising. But I wouldn't have been angry. I don't think we would be at this place today with all of this hatred for the show that some of you have if they had made Ren A, really. Hi, Louisa. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Steffi says all this show needs now is a musical. Like, they just need to break out in song. I agree with you. It's become kind of a comedy. Hi, Audrey. Thank you for being here tonight. Laura still thinks Marlene changed who A was at the last minute. A lot of people do. It does kind of make sense. I've read a lot of arguments on this. Every time I think that she did change it at the last minute based on those Reddit spoilers, which I did a whole video about the Reddit spoilers. If you want to go back and watch that, people will explain to me how it couldn't have been at the last minute. I don't know. And there's some compelling theories for both sides. Who do I think killed Charlotte? I've always thought that it was Mr. D, her father, but we'll see. I also think that he killed his wife, but I don't know. No, Hannah's boyfriend / fiance wasn't in this episode, which is okay because he was kind of annoying to me in last week's episode. Jack says, Melissa said to Hannah, he's gone. He left me. The nut job who made your life a living hell has moved on to mess with me. Hannah replied, don't you mean Charlotte? Then Melissa started talking to her. So I thought Melissa was talking about Ren there. What do you guys think? Yes, I think Hannah and Caleb will get back together, Zoe. Purple Sunstar thinks that Ren would be a good choice because he has the most potential and room for motive, and no one knows his full story, and he could have had a great storyline. And they also had set up so many different things, so many clues that would have fit with him being that would have made sense. They would have, avoided a lot of plot holes and made people, I think most people would have been happy. Some people might have been upset, but I think way more people would have been happier with Ren than with Charlotte. What if Mr. D was a serial killer, says Courtney. I don't know, maybe. Another thing that's really weird to me, which I felt like they really emphasized at the 6A finale, that Mr. D was basically the devil. He was this terrible person. We just didn't realize it. So I thought that we were going to get a lot of that kind of shade thrown at him in 6B. They have barely mentioned the man. I don't know if they mentioned him once or anything, but I thought they were going to make him like this super villain and talk bad about him a lot in 6B. But I don't remember them even talking about him in 6B. I don't understand. I don't understand this show. I think that Ren and Melissa did break up, Nadia. It seemed like from her ranting in the bathroom there that they did. Zoe says, maybe because so many people had guessed Ren was A, they changed it last minute to be more of a surprise, but it was a total fail. I mean, if you guys go back and watch my Reddit spoilers PLL video from a few months ago, so if you didn't know, and most of you did, but if you didn't, there was a leak on Reddit from some guy who said he worked on the set and he gave like all the information about Ren being A before that finale happened. And then all of a sudden it was crazy and it was CC. So a lot of people think that the leak made them rewrite stuff and do crazy stuff at the last minute. I don't know. Right. So Ben says we haven't seen or heard about Mr. D this season. So I don't understand why they went through they went to so much trouble to make him look like this terrible person. And I thought for sure that would carry over into the rest of the show and they could show us like maybe in flashbacks that he was a terrible dad or whatever, because to me, that just came out of nowhere that this man was evil. I'm just like, oh, he was? Like, were we supposed to get that from the last few seasons? I don't know. Mark is still waiting for the scene between Cece and Jason that makes the relationship less awkward. Marlene said it was coming in interviews for 6B, but she's dead and he's vanished. Honestly, do not think we will ever see that. Don't ever think we'll see that, Miss Allie says that Allie mentioned that Mr. D didn't support Charlotte being back and in the family, so he left. Okay, but to me, that's just more bad writing, because why do you want to build him up as a super villain and all this stuff and then never mention him again or mention that he's missing and he's never in the show again? And why? Why? Tony's asking, was the actor who played Lorenzo the leak and that's why he was fired? No, I don't think so. We don't know for sure who this person was. Of course, Marlene was saying that none of it was true. They just claimed to work on the set. The issue with Lorenzo, the actor who plays Lorenzo, was something to do with the actor's personal Instagram and some stuff he put about women that wasn't very nice, or a certain woman. I don't know. It's at this point, I've forgotten it because it literally happened right around the time of the finale of 6A. So, and I don't even know, a lot of you do think he's been fired, but where's that coming from? Like, was that in an actual article? Was that on Marlene's Twitter? Or was that just like a rumor? Because I have not seen it confirmed yet. The part with Emily in the car made me laugh, says Ariana. Me too. I thought it was ridiculous. So ridiculous. It will be funny if Hannah went back with Caleb and then Spencer moved on to Jordan. It's something she would do, says Jennifer. Yeah, that would be kind of crazy and silly, but with Jordan and Spencer getting together, but who knows? Yeah, so Miss Allie says it could be Tumblr rumors. I mean, a lot of you have mentioned that he was fired to me, but I've always asked everyone who mentions it, like, can you show me the tweet or can you show me the article? Only because I want to tweet it out. I want to show the article rather than, I don't want to spread something if it's just kind of a rumor. And sometimes so many people say it that we think it's absolutely true, but no one can find where it came from. Who do I want A to be? Ask Massimo. I would be so happy with so many different people at this point because I don't have a lot of faith in the show. So if it ends up being any of the parents, if it ends up being any of the girls, the boyfriends we've known forever, like Toby, Ezra, Caleb, fine. Melissa, Ren, fine with that. Not fine with a very minor character who we haven't seen in ages. Example would be Paige. example would be Mike. To me, he's a little bit minor at this point because we haven't seen him forever. I could even deal with Jason, but I don't think it's going to be someone we haven't seen in 500 episodes, you know, or just seen in flashbacks. Ari's saying there's a B and a C now. I don't know. For all I know is that they were trying to tell us last night that there are two A's. One who just wants to know who killed Charlotte, and one who wants to cover it up and like be really, really mean and terrible to the girls. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Jack is saying something, but I don't know where that comment is because literally they just fly by. If you've ever done one of these live chats, it is so hard I can just see the current ones in the little chat window. And if you commented like a little while ago, it's gone. So Jack, comment again so that I can see that and read that comment of yours. Have we seen Leslie Stone? The multiple glasses are a small clue. Someone else mentioned that earlier. That's crap to me. I agree it could be a clue, but honestly, that was a dog barking, Stephanie. I'm sorry. But honestly, that's annoying. Okay, here we go. Here's Jack's comment. The number plate of the car in 611, so the license plate number at the end says DA66410. If you go to episode 4 or season 4, episode 10 at 606, it is the start of the conversation Rin had with Mona and Radley. Well, that is awesome. What I will say to that is, do you really think they're smart enough to do that? I mean, and what is the relevance of the Ren, Mona, Radley conversation? I do kind of remember that scene. Very, very perceptive of you. Thank you for re-commenting that a couple times so that I could see it. But what do we make of that? Are they smart enough to throw like that kind of clue out there? Because I don't know. Because they threw out so many what we thought were clues before, and we all dissected them. I know I made a ton of theory videos on different people who I thought could be spending a lot of time going back, looking at stuff, analyzing stuff for nothing, it seems. I was wasting my time because none of that stuff ever made any sense. And I know a lot of other people on here are more talented than me at that kind of thing, theory videos, who did crazy investigating, digging up, you know, like the actual clips from the show and everything, which that's kind of like, you can't do that anymore. I don't know how they're getting away with it, but that's like copyright violation. We can't put show clips in anymore. But some people do get away with it, but whatever. It's a better video. But yeah, I mean, people spend so much time on that, and then like none of the stuff made any sense. None of it meant anything. I don't think the writers are smart enough for that level of detail. Thank you, Ben. I do not think so. I think that, Jack, that's awesome that you found that. That's in many shows that would be a clue. I don't have enough faith in these people that it is. And I think by them saying dream logic and tweeting that out to us last year, they can just, you know, anything that doesn't make sense to us, they can just be like, well, we told you this was all dream logic. So they can easily explain whatever crap they want to dish out to us. That's how I feel. Hi, Haley Hill. Thank you so much for watching. I have no problem doing that. The dialogue in this episode was horrible. Yeah, I agree. Jack, yeah, I'm sorry. It sucked. Like, that's why I quit doing analysis. I quit trying to do theories in my videos. I quit making theory-only videos because, in my opinion, it's a huge waste of anyone's time for this show. For other shows, sure. But for this show, and I know people are still turning them out, and I watch them, and they're freaking good. But I feel bad for those people because I'm like, you know what? This show, you are so much smarter than this show. You should be doing it. What the heck? I can't waste my time on that anymore. Yes, so the Two Crows Diner was the place Tanner was talking about. That was the place that Emily went to in last night's episode, where she got attacked and everything. I agree with Seb that 80% of the episodes so far have been fillers. Absolutely. As Massimo says, never trust Marlene. Absolutely. I hope Maya is an A. I don't know. Yes, if you guys watch How to Get Away with Murder, just a plug for that show in my videos. I am also doing those shows, or doing videos on that show. I do a live chat every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That is not going to change. And also, I know some of you are getting here now thinking that the show is at 6. Just a reminder, for the rest of this season, the Pretty Little Liars chats will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. We only have 3 weeks left, so for the next 3 weeks, we will do 5 p.m. Eastern. And I'm sorry about that. But I don't know why that they're dragging these things out, why we're having fillers. As Ariana says, it's because they need money. most likely. So Nadia thinks that Ren broke Melissa's suitcase to kill Cece. I mean, we haven't seen Ren in so long. Where the heck is he? Zoe wants to know if I think Melissa broke her suitcase and killed or helped to kill Charlotte. No, I don't. I don't think she's involved in any of that suitcase nonsense. I don't think she killed Charlotte. I think it's a big red herring. The next episode of How to Get Away with Murder, How to Get Away with Murder is on every Thursday in the US, 10 p.m. Eastern. And I always do the live chats on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then I also do recap videos with my thoughts and everything on Saturdays, okay? Yes, Diva, I've watched Orange is the New Black. I've completely caught up, and I really do like that show. 99% of the episodes so far have been filler, says Ben. Absolutely, I completely agree with you on that. So Massimo saying that the synopsis says that a huge character will die in 620. Yeah, if you can tell us where we can find that, I'd like to see it because some of you guys have not seen that. I haven't either. Yes, Ari, last week's How to Get Away with Murder was good, but I feel like every episode of that show is really good. So apparently there was a scene between Jason and Cece at Paley Fest. I guess maybe it addressed their relationship some. I don't know. That would be interesting if we can look that up after this is over. Whatever happened to Mr. D and Jason? I think we've talked a little bit about them. I have no idea. They've just not been in the show. Yes, they did mention Bethany Young, which was interesting, but then it kind of went nowhere. And I don't know if they're ever going to bring it back again because who knows with this show. And the twin stuff we talked about a little bit earlier, but I don't know if it's true. That is what Marlene is saying, but we can't trust what she says. So I'm not going to think about it too much because I just don't know. Yeah, Mona is kind of in and out of the show lately. Julian says, hi, this episode sucked. I think that would be like a great title for my video. I actually really like that. Maybe Toby is, are you saying, I think Seb's saying that maybe Toby is what? Uber A or something. Sarah has created in her mind a reality where Ren is A and she doesn't care what the writers do. That's how she gets through with PLL. Sad. I know there were several people who had like, there's some funny questions on here. I'm wondering if I'm being trolled again. I don't even know. I'm getting off track here. What were we talking about? Yes, there are some like Facebook groups and stuff dedicated to PLL where they have alternate realities, like they made up their own ending to the show and everything. And some of that stuff is just really compelling and I really, really like it. So we just have a few minutes left. I just want to say if you're watching this now and you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. That would make me so happy. And if you want to thumbs up these videos when they're, I don't think you can thumbs this up, but thumbs it up a little bit later. If you came to this late because of the time change, I really am sorry. Thankfully, this will be on my channel in full a few minutes after this airs. So if you want to go back and watch it, you totally can. Someone's asking if I finished watching Scream. Absolutely. I loved it so much. I'll be doing videos and chats on it in April when it returns for season 2. I loved it. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. How nice of you. But yeah, just love that show. I can't wait to discuss that with you guys who are fans. And if you haven't watched Scream yet, I'm telling you, it's so much better than this show. So much better, but it's kind of a similar theme. So you can watch it on the MTV app. You can also, I think, find it some places online and in Netflix in certain countries, but it was not on Netflix in the US. But, you know, catch up so you can watch it with me because I watched it in a week and I loved it so much. I loved it so much that I could not stop watching and binging it late at night. My favorite of the 4 main characters, I really like Hannah. Nadia's asking what my lipstick is. It's Mirabella is the brand, but I do not, it's like a lip pencil, like a fat lip pencil, but I don't know what color. I'm really sorry, but thanks. Yeah, Scream makes complete sense. There's not plot holes. It's really good. It's really clever. I really love it. Rock Music hopes that Toby breaks up with his girlfriend so he can be with Spencer. Thank you, Diva. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope so too. I want him back with Spencer. I want all the old people back together, and that's one of the reasons that I'm kind of interested in watching it each week because maybe something like that will happen and something good will come out of it. I'm hoping that Scream's going to gain more popularity. I think, you know, with Pretty Little Liars, it's been on for so long, so it has had a chance to gain popularity and to get more popular than Scream, but Scream is actually so much better. So I would really, really, really think or hope that it gets a lot more fans and hopefully it'll continue to be really, really good. Do I like Aria's style? It's okay. Well, you know what? I really like Aria too. But I feel like I like Hannah a little bit better. I think that they're all just really pretty. I think they're all so pretty, and even sometimes I don't always like whatever outfits they put them in. But I think the girls are so pretty, and I like their personalities. I never feel like they look bad or ugly or anything. Like I always feel like they look really nice. Um, Okay. I just noticed when I saw oh my gosh, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to have to go just because I do have something to go to at 6:30. That's why I had to change this. But thank you guys so much for being here, for adjusting to the time change. And there's so many more comments, but again, this will be up on my channel in like 5 minutes. So we'll come back and answer any comments later tonight or anything that I missed. I don't ever ignore you guys. Sometimes I can't get to everyone, but I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. My PLL video will be up tomorrow. Thank you guys so much again for all of your support of Kelly TV, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.